What's up everybody, this is Game Drone bringing you some Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta gameplay, along with some of my early thoughts and opinions on the newest Call of Duty installment.
Team Deathmatch.
First question I want to address is something the Call of Duty community seems concerned about, and honestly it's something I was concerned about myself going into the beta release. Is Black Ops 4 a clone of Black Ops 3? I can say with confidence that if and when you join your first game in Black Ops 4, if you haven't already, you will not feel like you're playing an expansion or a clone of Black Ops 3. You'll feel like you're playing a Call of Duty title, but you will absolutely not feel like you are playing Black Ops 3. To say that BO4 is a clone of BO3 is like saying Modern Warfare 3 is a clone of Modern Warfare 2. Obviously it's the same IP, so there are going to be elements that are similar, but in my opinion this game feels very different from Black Ops 3. Now, whether this game turns out to be a success for the Call of Duty franchise and or the Call of Duty community, I don't know, but I do think that Treyarch has achieved something important here. They've made changes that push innovation and competitiveness without sacrificing the core components of the game that made Call of Duty groundbreaking in the first place. If I'm being honest, I can't say that I personally welcome all of the changes, and based on the feedback, the community is in the same boat. But we have to remember that this is a beta very much still in flux. We're dealing with a franchise that has been put on the ropes the past couple of years by the likes of one heavily disliked Infinite Warfare trailer and a game you may have heard of called Fortnite. Therefore, these developers are being pushed to innovate themselves as well as follow suit with game modes such as Battle Royale. So let's talk about some of these quote-unquote innovations that we see here in the multiplayer beta. The change that jumps out the most on paper is the move to a 5v5 player count, but to me, this is surprisingly the least game-altering change that Treyarch made. It sounds like taking a player away from each team would slow down the traditional Call of Duty pace, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It seems like the map design in this game really filters players to the choke points. The maps don't really feel small, but they do feel narrow. I honestly can't give you any complaints about the 5v5 change at this stage. For some reason, it just works. In the beta, there is a game mode called Chaos Team Deathmatch that rolls 6v6 and allows each team to have up to 2 of each specialist. This mode is fun to me because I enjoy Team Deathmatch, but I hope this is not their only answer to the community concerns about the one specialist per team feature. This is a good band-aid for the beta to let us know that Treyarch is listening, but I think they have their work cut out for them in tweaking this system to the satisfaction of the community. We're talking World War II Division overhaul caliber stuff here if the community doesn't warm up to the specialist system. The one specialist per team system was never a game breaker for me because I tend to focus solely on contract type challenges and gun challenges. But this seems to be a feature of Black Ops 4's gameplay that the community is united against, so I hope Treyarch will do their best to meet us in the middle on this one. A change in the game that had the whole community wide-eyed during the announcement event was the introduction of manual health regeneration. You now have to use a stim pack of sorts in battle to heal yourself. When I first saw this was happening, I was pretty disappointed. To me, Call of Duty is all about being able to recover quickly without keeping you away from the battle, and at first this seemed to threaten that. However, as I've gotten into the beta, this has evolved into one of my favorite new features of Black Ops 4. Once you're used to hitting that heal button, you really feel like you have more control over your gameplay. You're actually able to get back into the fight quicker than previous installments if you play your cards right. And this segues right into another change, which is the addition of 50 more hit points, making your total health 150. This is definitely the biggest game changer of the batch to me, and something that I can't say I enjoy just yet. I understand that it makes gunfights last longer and is probably more ideal from a competitive perspective, but I can't help but miss those crazy kill feeds that we're used to seeing. If you run up on 2 or 3 guys, even if you are behind them, it's more difficult than before to melt the whole crew and get those highlight reel kill feeds. When I first started the game, I felt like I was trading 1 for 1 almost every respawn, and that's because now you have to get used to using that extra 50 health as well as your manual healing to keep you alive. I'm accustomed to running into the fray and trying to snag 2 or 3 kills, or capturing a point, or grabbing a few confirm tags, but now it doesn't seem like throwing your body into the mix is as effective as it used to be. With the change to 5v5, staying alive to push the objective or back up one of your teammates feels more valuable. Speaking of staying alive, let's talk briefly about the new game mode, Control. I did not play a ton of Control during the first weekend because I was so excited to get back into COD and play the traditional domination and deathmatch modes, but I did give it a shot and it's a solid game mode. There are basically 2 objectives that you're trying to capture or defend, and both teams have limited respawns. To win the match, you have to win 3 rounds, and the rounds can go pretty quickly. My only issue with the control mode and limited respawns is that you're really at the mercy of your team and how much they value staying alive. It's not like you get 3 respawns per team member, you actually share respawns with these people. But I guess you're sort of at the mercy of your teammates anytime you play a team-based multiplayer game. I look forward to seeing how Control fits into the competitive environment because things get pretty intense when you're down to those last few respawns. I've been keeping up with Reddit since the beta went live, and it seems like a big topic of discussion is the body armor. It sounds a lot like most people want it gone. I personally haven't been paying much attention to it. I tried using it at one point, but ultimately decided that the stim pack was the way to go. Moving away from the big changes Treyarch made with Black Ops 4, let's talk about the traditional Call of Duty elements. Score streaks. A huge topic of conversation when comparing and contrasting which Call of Duty games are the best of the best. There seems to be a correlation between the favorite COD games within the community and solid score streaks. If I'm being honest, I don't see score streaks being a big part of this game at launch. I rarely find myself being killed by any score streaks other than Hellstorms in the beta. This could partially be because people haven't unlocked many of the streaks yet, and there is a level cap of 25 that prevents you from really getting into the bigger streaks. Simply put, the score streaks to me have felt like almost a non-factor thus far, and I think it could also seem this way because of the prevalence of the specialist abilities. The weapons in this game have really surprised me. My returning favorite is definitely the ICR, and I'm really enjoying all 3 of the tactical rifles. With the Pick 10 system, it looks like we will once again be able to really deck out these weapons if we so choose. But it isn't the design or even the capabilities that truly surprise me about these weapons. The guns are actually effective at the range that they were meant to be effective at. If you run up on somebody head on that has an SMG and you have a DMR, you're going to be at a real disadvantage. If you engage someone from a distance, you have a tactical rifle and they have an assault rifle, you're going to have a serious advantage, in my experience. Obviously, there's a lot of tweaking to do, and as I'm working on this video right now on Friday, Treyarch has just released a statement noting some of the issues they are aware of, and it sounds like we will see some changes to the weapon balancing in an update on Saturday morning. On a related note to weapon balancing, it seems to me that Treyarch is the first of the 3 Call of Duty developers to finally fully embrace quickscoping. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't felt any aim assist when aiming down sights with a sniper. But the actual aim down time is very quick and ideal for quickscopers. The maps are pretty good for quickscoping, however, as far as the 6 maps I've played thus far, it doesn't seem like there's much of a place for traditional snipers who like to hunker down and play the long game. And that leads into the most important aspect of these 6 maps we've seen. Believe it or not, I've come across literally 0 true campers, and I really think it's because of the map design. We've seen Call of Duty maps in the past that place choke points near potential camping spots, which can filter players into the campers and make it more beneficial for them. There is none of this so far in Black Ops 4 that I've seen. This is an action-packed Call of Duty. If you try to camp, you will get overrun quickly because of the unique specialist abilities and narrow, funneling map design. My personal favorite map from a gameplay standpoint is Frequency, and from a visual standpoint, I really enjoy Seaside and Contraband. Treyarch definitely paid attention to World War II's shortcomings in coloration and made sure they didn't make the same mistakes. The maps generally seem even more vibrant than most Black Ops 3 maps. One thing that I want to address that I had a hard time ignoring was the seemingly low FPS. I'm not one of these overly tech-savvy guys or anything like that, but even to my relatively untrained eye, I can tell that the beta has low FPS. This is a pretty big problem in my opinion. The game feels like a different Call of Duty game from the past, but doesn't really draw me in graphically like previous installments. I really enjoyed how glossy the guns and stuff looked in MWR and World War II, and hopefully we will see more of that when camos are introduced with the full release. In conclusion, I really enjoy this game. I'm not going to hold on to really high expectations for the release because we still could see a lot of changes, but I'm pretty confident this will be a solid installment to the franchise. My largest concerns are the frame rate drops, and another thing that I wanted to avoid touching on too much in the video, the Black Ops Pass. Needless to say, if the community is split into 2 player bases immediately at launch, I don't think we're looking at a very long life for this game. And the biggest plus I look forward to with this game is the colossal amount of content. I haven't decided whether or not I want to pay extra for it yet, but after playing a beta with only 6 maps, I already feel like I have more to run with than I did at World War II's official launch. We have a new game mode that we have played on all 6 beta maps, 10 playable specialists, and with the Pick 10 system, there's so much more personalization in gunplay. And to think we have a ton of zombies content and a battle royale game mode to look forward to in addition to this. Whether it all turns out to be enjoyable or sustainable remains to be seen, but I think at the very least we will see the most comprehensive multiplayer package in a Call of Duty installment to date. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to leave any feedback down in the comment section and I'll see you next time.